The 1996 Chicago Bulls went 72-10. They won a championship. They had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and yet after conducting an extremely serious statistical investigation, the 2026 Cleveland Cavaliers are analytically better, and I have the numbers to prove it. Now obviously you might be saying, Trip, the Bulls went 72-10, and yes, that's technically true, but that's where the traditional basketball analysis fails, because wins, they're just one statistic. And as Cleveland head coach Kenny Atkinson taught us this year, sometimes you have to look beyond the scoreboard. So I did, and I discovered what was genuinely shocking. Let's start with offensive efficiency. The 1996 Bulls had an offensive rating of about 115.2. That's incredible, but Cleveland won 19.2. That's nearly 4 points better per 100 possessions, so if we're judging purely by offensive efficiency, Cleveland wins. Michael Jordan averaged 30.4 points per game. Cool. Donovan Mitchell exists. Advantage, Cleveland. Now here's where things get really interesting. The 1996 Bulls played in an era where teams barely shot threes. Chicago attempted roughly 16 threes per game. Cleveland, nearly 40. That's more than twice as many. And Cleveland made about 14.3 threes per game. So basically the Cavaliers are making an entire basketball team's worth of modern three-pointers, while the Bulls were still discovering that the three-point line existed. And you want me to believe Chicago was better? The analytics department would like a word. But there's an even bigger problem for Chicago. The 1996 Bulls played at a pace of about 91 possessions per game. Cleveland, basically 100. That's about 9 extra possessions every game, which means Cleveland has approximately an entire quarter of additional basketball every 4 games. And if you extrapolate that over an 82-game season, that's hundreds of extra opportunities. I don't know what they were doing in 1996, but apparently they just didn't want enough possessions. Now, very obviously, Chicago destroys Cleveland defensively. The Bulls had a 101.8 defensive rating. Cleveland was around 115.1. That's a gigantic difference. So Cleveland has absolutely no argument here. Unless we adjust for modern offensive environments. And once you start adjusting, things get complicated. That's because Cleveland's opponents are scoring more, which means Cleveland's defense is actually more defensively inefficient, and somehow that sounds like a positive when I say it fast enough. Now let's address the elephant in the room. 72-10, the greatest regular season record in NBA history at the time. But here's the thing, the Bulls were expected to win 70 games. That's only 2 more than they actually won. Meanwhile, the Cleveland expected record was 51-31. They finished 52-30. So Cleveland actually outperformed its expected record. Chicago basically did exactly what the numbers expected. Cleveland +1 over expectation, Chicago +2 over expectation. Wait, that's actually, never mind. Now I have one final piece of evidence. Cleveland lost the Eastern Conference Finals 4-0. Chicago won the championship, obviously. But Cleveland's underlying numbers told a completely different story, and that is the beauty of analytics. You can lose every single game and still win the spreadsheet, and that is exactly what happened. So let's review. The 1996 Bulls, 72 wins, championship, Michael Jordan, Pippen, D-Rod, historic defense, plus 13.4 net rating, absolutely ridiculous basketball team. The Cavaliers, 52 wins, swept in the conference finals, plus 4.1 net rating, and yet 119.2 offensive rating, more than twice as many three-point attempts, a significantly faster pace, and 1 more win than their expected record. Therefore, after extensive statistical analysis, I can confirm confidently the Cleveland Cavaliers are better than the 1996 Chicago Bulls. Not on the court, not in the playoffs, not in reality, but analytically, give me Cleveland in 5.